Hi there, I'm author Sarah A. Chrisman.
And I'm Gabriel Chrisman.
And today we're going to be discussing the book Three Men on Wheels. So this was a book written at the turn of the 20th century, and it's about three guys on a bicycle trip. Now, if you've read the Tales of Chetzemoka, you probably can guess that this was one of many, many books that was influential in writing my series, because there were so many books at this point that were all about going on trips with your friends on your bicycles. And that started in the 1880s when they were on high wheels and the ladies were on high wheel tricycles, and it went through the safety bike era. And it sort of spawned the idea for me that, yeah, that would be kind of fun. And actually, I lie because it was your idea.
A little bit, yes.
It was your idea. You're the one who told me it was a good idea to write bike books, even though bike books don't sell.
I loved a lot of these books and these stories because they spoke to me, but a lot of what they did was they were usually one-offs. Mm-hmm. They were, they weren't often a continuing series that allowed the characters to develop.
Right.
And so that's the idea, was to do something like that, but with much more character development and all of that. So, yeah. So getting back to this one, this is by Jerome K. Jerome, who was a comic writer at the turn of the 20th century. And this is three very English guys who are on a trip through Germany on their bikes and getting into all sorts of trouble along the way. And as you can imagine, the British writer skewering the German culture and the German attitude is a big part of it too.
But at the same time, they're skewering their own.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. Basically, if you've read Mark Twain's The Innocents Abroad, this is like the English counterpart to the way that Mark Twain made fun of everyone on Earth, including the Americans he was writing about.
Yes.
These guys are making fun of themselves and the people they're writing through.
Right. But it also shows that that going on these sort of cycling trips was a way that these cultures came into collision.
Right. And it was a way that people went outside their comfort zones and encountered situations that could be situationally wacky.
And this is something that far more of the readers of this could picture themselves doing, where Thomas Stevens' tour around the world was a little bit exotic for most people.
Yeah, well, Thomas Stevens, he was exceptional. He was an exceptional person. Right. He actually did ride his high-wheel bicycle all around the world. And most people can't do that. But this is a novel, and Thomas Stevens actually was a real guy who managed to pull that off. This is just a novel about three friends who are on their little holiday from work.
Right.
And this is actually the sequel to another book that had been Three Men in a Boat. And so in that one they did the very British holiday of going out and mucking about in a boat.
Yes.
But this time they're on their bicycles. Mm-hmm. And so it's taking them a bit farther out of their comfort zone. And they're having to try to make their way in countries where they don't really speak the language, even though they studied it in school, it didn't really sink in, and they're making fun of that, and all of the situations it gets them in, like when one of them tries to buy a cushion and inadvertently winds up buying a kiss instead. At which point he runs off to his friend and explains this strange situation, and when he works out what happened, he said, "Well, I didn't mind the kiss, but I really wanted the cushion." So it's things like that. There's a scene where one of them accidentally steals a bicycle because he mistakes it for his friend's bicycle, and he's just trying to be helpful, and he throws it on the train, and then they all go off, and it's the wrong bike.
One of the interesting things is that a lot of humor is really hard to translate across time and culture, but this one is not.
Right.
This one is completely accessible.
Right. Because that sort of thing still happens. I mean, linguistic mix-ups and inadvertently grabbing the wrong bike, that's something you can picture happening in modern times.
Right, absolutely.
And so that's part of the fun of this book. And it's a super quick read. This is something you can read in a couple days, and you'll have a lot of fun doing it. So, Three Men on Wheels by Jerome K. Jerome. So, enjoy and happy reading. Oh, and don't forget to tell your friends about my books too.